The Forbidden Forest, Hogwarts Legacy, every explorable location confirmed so far. One thing that is enticing about Hogwarts Legacy is that players will get to choose their path as they start out in the wizarding world. They'll get to live the unwritten and not be bound to the book's plot like past video games. But what that means is still up for debate. Despite the delay to next year, the team behind the game has been slowly teasing all that can happen in it and the locations that players will be able to visit. So today, we have yet another place tied to Harry Potter lore and history, the Forbidden Forest. The Forbidden Forest, also known as the Dark Forest, bordered the edges of the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry grounds. The forest was a very old place that held many secrets and housed many creatures, some dark and dangerous, others friendly. The trees in the forest were considered ancient, they were dense and rough-looking from years of exposure to the elements. As the forest's name suggests, it was strictly off-limits to students, except in the case of detention or care of magical creatures lessons that occasionally took place there. Of course, with the various dangerous creatures living in the forest, few students would even want to venture into it. Described by Professor Sylvanus Kettleburn as massive, the forest was thick with trees, such as beech, oak, pine, sycamore, and yew, as well as undergrowth such as knotgrass and thorns, but there were paths, brooks, and some clearings. Off the path, the way was almost impassable, although people had moved through it and creatures as large as acromantulas and a Ford Anglia had managed to get around. There were areas around the edges of the forest that were part of the Hogwarts grounds, but which were out of sight of the castle. Hagrid set up a paddock for hippogriffs in an area like this, and the dragons, which had been brought in for the first task, were confined here. In the novels, the Forbidden Forest is one of the few places students can't go when on Hogwarts grounds. Naturally, the students go there multiple times in the story, including in books 1, 2, 5, 6, and 7. After all, if you tell a kid they can't do something, they're almost certainly going to do it. The reason why students aren't supposed to go in there is because of the residents within. The forest is home to many creatures that prefer solitude over human interaction. Key among them are the centaurs, such as Firenze, who was an ally to Harry Potter in the story. There is also the massive spider Aragog, who was a pet of Hagrid's whom he released into the forest after it was accused of attacking students. There are also particular magical creatures, like unicorns, that live in the forest. Thus not everything within it is necessarily evil. But it is, without a doubt, a dangerous place to go, especially if you're not prepared for the threats within. In a new teaser, the official Hogwarts Legacy Twitter handle posted a small clip of the game's version of the Forbidden Forest and asks what you might find inside. As you'll see, it doesn't show any monsters or magical creatures in the clip because they don't want to spoil anything just yet. However, the simple fact that we're seeing it revealed proves that something will happen in it. Otherwise, why create it at all? One can guess that it might be a crucial part of the story, not unlike what happens in the novels. Or, it could be a place you only visit if you go down a particular path. We know from past teasers and trailers that there will be dark arts-focused paths that the character you create can take. We've also seen via the PlayStation exclusive quest that there will be horror elements in the game. As well as heavily showcasing the school itself, the dark and mysterious outskirts of Hogwarts will also be the subject of exploration, namely the sinister Forbidden Forest. An unpredictable yet fascinating and ancient place, the Forbidden Forest is sure to provide some of the most engaging and tense exploration within Hogwarts Legacy. Full of potential companions as well as enemies, the Forbidden Forest is sure to be a great starter location to test out the combat of Hogwarts Legacy, outside the constrictions and limitations of the classroom. Given the Forbidden Forest's penchant for dormant secrets and hidden truths, it is sure to provide a serious amount of rewarding exploration despite the dangers that the forest inherently possesses.